Alright guys, welcome to day 3 of the Bootcamp 2.0. Today is going to be primarily about planning your content, and I'm actually calling this day as becoming a consumer before becoming a creator. Now, the crazy part is, to an extent, if you were to pick a random person off the street, they would on average be called a consumer, but somewhere around the spectrum. So we're going to put this as moderate and here is extreme. So we're going to say 10 to 30 minutes and then here is like 12 hours. So you need to find out where you are on the spectrum, and then whatever place you are, position that, let's say here, so 6 hours per day. You need to use this time constructively. So you just have a different lens on when spending this time on your day. I'm not gonna say lower it, because that's another topic I'll get to later, but let's say you're someone who spends 6 hours a day in total scrolling on their phone or just consuming. The reason why it's important to consume is because, especially in organic marketing, regardless of what you do, by the way, whether you're selling physical products, digital products, dropshipping, and so on, or person brand, you need to be on top of the trends. And this requires you to consume, to actually know what's currently going on, what's currently trending, what audios to choose, what formats. Format is like the overall video idea. Text. We're gonna put text separately actually, and so on. So these are some of the things where you could learn just by observing others. And you would be shocked how important these are to determine your views. So I could literally just change the text. Okay, same content. I'm split testing about a video I had. I would just change the text to something that recently have been going more viral, and that way I'm gonna go viral again. It's this good. So right now with the brand, we literally spend a considerable amount of time per day researching, because I'm not gonna lie, dropshippers are running out of ideas. In fact, the more you market like other dropshippers, the more you're gonna attract dropshippers. But if you were to market like other, trendy creators, then you're just gonna attract good quality leads. So this is something you need to understand, and I'm not saying you need to recreate or get rid of all of your old formats. It's more like natural selection. So let's say you have 5 formats that you're testing, and by the way, on average I think people have like 3 to 5, at least at the start. This is like for professionals. So wherever you're at, eventually you're gonna start cutting off the formats that are not performing. So we reach a point where we only have like a few winning formats. And I've seen this even with other, like my previous winning products. I've had the same situation. So what happens here is you have 2 winning formats that are printing for you, or even 1. I've seen people stuck with 1. So at that point, you need to start finding this new winning format, because otherwise it's too repetitive. So this is where it gets tricky, because you cannot be just blindly following other dropshippers, whether they are direct competitors or not. Instead, you need to start consuming, seeing what's currently trending in your niche, or something that's, to an extent related to your niche. Could be outside. For example, car niche and then F1. They're technically different, but a lot of things that work in the car niche also work in the F1 niche. So this is the concept that I'm talking about here. This is how I've seen the top performers keep on printing. So the whole point is, don't be discouraged to try new formats, but always follow a winning concept. So whatever you test that is considered new in the organic space, make sure it has a foundation, which is a proven concept from someone else. That way, it may appear like you're reinventing the wheel, but in reality, you're just being encouraged to try something new, which already has performed well for someone else. Okay? Again, reminder, this applies to the format, to the audio, and to the text. Okay? So now that I've explained this, next question is how to actually find this content. And this is not like an easy process, I'm not gonna lie. Every account would perform or would show you different content. This is the crazy part. So I would recommend having multiple phones. So let's say you're posting on 2 phones or 3, then dedicate one account per phone for finding this content. And I'm actually going to link this to my other videos where I've always said you need to warm up the same account that you would be posting on. So let's say you are in the car niche. And here, I'm going to put it here. People usually say that if you want to do car niche account, then you only need to warm up the first 3 days of you creating the account, and then that's it. You never have to touch the algorithm. You just start posting, closing the app. That's it. But that's false. I would say the best, because I've been posting for 4 years, guys. I've tested a lot of products, and over time, okay, the latest products I've tried, they perform the best so far with the algorithm, with the reach, and it cannot be coincidence that I've taken my warm-up process way more seriously. I would warm up the account for at least 1 minute to 3 minutes every single time I open the app before I get to post. And this has to be one of the reasons which has helped me to reach better quality leads. So I do recommend this for everyone. Make sure that you warm up. And here's why I'm saying this, because this actually leads you back to this topic. By you consuming and warming up your account, you're going to start attracting more content like that. So every single time you open your app, while you're warming up before you get your post out, you're seeing what's being posted. So you get more ideas, you note them down, you like them, you save them, and it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. That way you find new formats, you warm up your account, and then you get to post. So this is actually what I personally do on multiple phones, and I do recommend you guys try to. Next thing is about the whole idea of becoming a consumer, because unfortunately, regardless of how much I see, I don't like to judge, but it's really important that you are aware of your actions. You need to have control. And the problem is people lose control to their impulses. And that's a very, it's a very dangerous place to be in, because that way you cannot just, if you can fold and lose control over impulses, that means the next time you have an obstacle, you're also going to fold. And it's important to start with the basics like this, which is going to sharpen you to become even more of a disciplined person in other areas of your life. That's why it's very important to overall be a disciplined person. Hit the gym every day, get a walk, eat healthy, constructively consume, okay? Don't just watch anything that's entertaining. No, if you're watching content, it needs to be something helpful for you, like this video, or, on your burn account, and so on. I've said this in my very first day of this bootcamp. Everything needs to have an ROI. So find your, position on this spectrum. Be honest with yourself. We all do spend time, but it's better to replace this time to find better leverage or better outcome. So yeah, that's regarding this. Now let me tell you one thing. You cannot just rely on the dropshipping content. So people usually just go for the burner method, but what you're going to realize, what I just explained here with this concept here, is not actually the burner method, because the burner method is no profile account which only interacts with dropshipping content. On the other hand, what I just explained here is you interacting with just organic content in your niche, in the F1 niche and so on. That way, you're not seeing any dropshippers at all. You're just seeing people who are posting on a daily basis and going viral with current trends. And this is exactly what we need. People have different names for this method. I call it the authentic, what do we call it? Burner method, okay? The ABM. So this is where you find actual proven concept content, but it's not actually done by other dropshippers. So this is actually the advanced method of doing it. I don't think many people do this or talk about this, but I've seen some I can't really disclose them because they're actually in our list of competitors, but competitors in terms of marketing. But yeah, they do test new formats every now and then. All right, next point I want to mention here is the fact that you start consuming means that you're not just stuck in your own bubble. And this is one thing which is very dangerous to have. So personally, whenever I'm actually very dedicated onto a new project, new something, I often just get locked into my mind. Like, I don't like to get distracted by something outside. For example, I don't have the shiny object syndrome. I hate that. So I do recommend you guys to work on that too, because it's very tempting to try new products, especially when you see new product going viral every single day. But here's what is the most important thing about this, is that since I really wanted to stay in my own bubble, it actually harmed me more than it benefited me. Because when you're avoiding what's going on right now, you're actually neglecting what is currently going viral, and that will most definitely make you miss opportunities. So let's say you're working on a new product and you're currently stuck at like 1k views, and you're wondering why you're not getting more than 1k views. So perhaps it's the format, perhaps it's the audio, or just the quality of the content. So if you were to actually consume and see what's currently going viral outside of your bubble, at least by doing what I just mentioned here, or by having your burner method separately, that way you would know exactly what audio to choose. You're going to have more formats to try, and even it's going to give you motivation that it's not only you who's struggling. There's a lot of people posting. It's a reminder that you're in a battlefield of other dropshippers who are all posting as well, and they're trying to go viral. And then some people may go viral and deceive the others. So this whole group is going to go run a product because of their shiny object syndrome, because that guy's product got like 1 million views, and they're going to end up wasting their time running that product where in reality it was not converting. So it's actually important to make sure that the product converts before just jumping into it. So day 2, I actually made a video about how to pick a product. Watch that if you haven't. After you know what to look for in a product, you need to make sure you don't just follow the herd. Double think about what product to go for. But yeah, guys, that was it for this video. I just wanted to give you a reminder that it's important to have control over your impulses and just over your actions. You need to make sure that whatever you're doing has an ROI, and the importance of consuming every single day. It's really important, and we constantly do this before posting every single day to make sure that we're up to date with the trends. And this is actually what has made us constantly go viral. Whenever we're outdated, we're reposting old content, we're not really trying something new, that's when we find ourselves hitting a plateau and eventually going down. So yeah, that's it for today. If this was helpful, subscribe, join my Discord. It's for free. If you want to be part of the team, let me know on Discord as well by DMs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on day 4.